Should Jey Uso fans be worried as he approaches WrestleMania, seemingly challenging Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship? Well, in this video, I'm going to share an interesting interview that Jey did recently, and I'm also going to share something in which I've seen fans talk about that I also think is a little bit nonsensical, and much more. Because we know that Jey Uso is coming off of the biggest win of his career, winning the 2025 Men's Royal Rumble match, securing an opportunity to challenge for any world title of his choosing. He could go after the World Heavyweight title in Gunther, which is seemingly the case. He could go after undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes. Maybe he goes after Obafemi down in NXT. All right, I'm joking about the NXT part. He's not going after that. WWE has made it very clear that he's going to go after Gunther. Heck, by the time that you hear this video, he could already have made his decision and made it very clear cut. That is a dramatic shift over the last year that Jey Uso has had. Think about this. We are almost a year removed from his brother Jimmy throwing him out of the Intercontinental Championship against Gunther. Him having a horrendous match with his brother Jimmy at WrestleMania 40. Him winning the Intercontinental title from Braun Breaker, only to have a short victory. Jey Uso is going to go to WrestleMania, and he's going to challenge for the world title. And I think he has a very good shot at winning the world title. Let's dismiss this speculation, this talk, this belief, because there is a lot of people who do not believe in Jey Uso. The belief that he will not win the big one, before we get into his quote, which really caught me off guard. This belief that Jey Uso is going to go to WrestleMania, he's going to challenge for a world title, he could seemingly get a main event spot, and he doesn't win the world title? You're out of your mind. Look, if you don't think Jey Uso looks like a world champion, if you think that Jey Uso doesn't talk or work like a world champion, you're probably right. He doesn't have the greatest promos. He doesn't have the greatest matches. He doesn't necessarily fit the part as a world champion. However, he's over. And in pro wrestling, it doesn't matter if you're the best promo. It doesn't matter if you have the best work rate or you are best buds with Dave Meltzer and gets 5 stars. It matters if you draw money. It matters if you're over. And Jey Uso is more over than anyone in WWE right now. That's above Roman Reigns. That's above CM Punk. That's above any top tier star outside of maybe a John Cena because he's in his retirement tour. This guy is over like Rover. Celebrities gravitate towards him, wants to be part of his entrance. We've seen that numerous times in recent months. That's going to only continue. He is over. So let's get rid of that nonsense. Now, let's shift to his interview because I think it was very interesting because coming out of the Royal Rumble, Jey Uso has been making a bunch of media appearances, and he was on the Nightcap podcast, and he was asked whether or not this idea has sunk in, that he will be headlining the shows of shows, the biggest event of WWE's calendar year in April, WrestleMania. He said, "Can I be honest? It's another day of the office. Here's what happened. Did work on Saturday. What's today? Sunday. That was last night. Feels like it was 3 nights ago. Did it last night. Happened on the road. Drove 4 hours. But if I'm honest, I'm just on to the next. I got Monday Night Raw tomorrow. I'm going to check that off as I go. Check it off as I go. Right now, feels like another day at the office. Once I fly home with my family, calm down a little bit, sitting in the living room, it might hit me." So let me preference this. I don't think people... So the big takeaway from that was he doesn't feel like the Royal Rumble win was like life-changing, career-changing, this defining moment in his career. I don't think fans should be worried about the idea that Jey Uso doesn't take it as a big deal. I think he does. I think at the time of that interview, I think he was in shock that he actually went and won it, right? He's been with WWE for over a decade. Most of that time has been as a tag team star. He's done really big things in this company. He's headlined WrestleMania, been part of one of the best storylines in the last decade, maybe the last 20 years in the bloodline with Roman Reigns, his brother, Sami Uso, or Sami Zayn, Paul Heyman. I think the idea that Jey Uso is taking this moment for granted, this idea that he's not taking it seriously, I think is baffling. I think it's not true. I think the fact is Jey Uso is a guy that has grinded. He's given the blood, the sweat, the tears, all the metaphors, all the cachets. And he's looking at it as, if I let this moment swallow me up, if I let this moment get bigger than who I am, I will lose focus and he could lose momentum. I recently said this in a recent video, and I stand by this. WWE's job for the next 2 months is to maintain. I don't know how much more over Jey Uso can get, because I think at some point you are just so over that there's not a lot of other people that can touch you. And if they can, they're also fellow top WWE stars. If you can just maintain his popularity, if you can just not have him botch a move, if you can have him not botch a promo, if you can just maintain the momentum and maintain the progress heading into WrestleMania, this guy is going to be A-OK. He's going to go into WrestleMania, he's going to fly to Vegas, and he's going to dethrone Gunther for the world title. Now, that's not to say that he's going to have a year-long reign. That's not to say he's going to have the greatest WWE Championship reign of all time. That's not to say that he's going to go down as the greatest world champion of all time. That's not going to say that he's going to change the minds of the doubters, the negativity. Not saying that. What I am saying is this. Jey Uso has a real opportunity to go into WrestleMania as one of the hottest stars and win the world title, fulfill a lifelong dream, have a fun run, and then go back to being, an upper tier guy. I don't know if necessarily the Royal Rumble is going to prove that he is a bona fide main eventer. I don't know if it means that it will change the booking of him going forward. I think that this is a moment in time, in a lot of ways like Kofi Mania. I think he'll be booked better than Kofi coming out of this world title run. But if I'm Jey Uso fans, and I consider myself to be a supporter and a fan, I'm not worried about the narrative that, he's going to get dropped, badly after this title run, that he's not going to win the world title, that he's not focused, that he's not set on his goals and desires. He's going to be A-OK. As long as they don't drop the ball on his booking, as long as he doesn't do 50-50 booking, as long as he doesn't go into a stupid feud, as long as Gunther is still hot, he's going to be fine. And I think that you shouldn't overlook the room. You don't overlook the situation. You don't overthink the situation. As long as you stay course and you be very conservative, Jey Uso is going to be just fine going into WrestleMania. And more importantly, Jey Uso is going to be just fine coming out of WrestleMania as your world champion.